Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this episode of the Dan Dawson Show. So, there's been this big hubbub about if President Trump is going to relinquish power if he loses. But that's not truly what it's about. They want him to relinquish power right away, even if the contest is contested. See? I guess people are just going to pretend like a couple of weeks ago, Hillary Clinton didn't just come out and tell Joe Biden, no matter what, don't concede the election, don't concede it, stay in there and fight for it. So why wouldn't Trump do the same thing? Why would you want him to concede, especially if it's a contested election? And I think both sides are now thinking the Supreme Court's going to have to decide. But it's further proof of what they do, you see. It's their hypocritical thing. I can do this, but you can't. During lockdowns, how many Democratic representatives, Cuomo, de Blasio, Pelosi, Warren, AOC, for that matter, both Cuomos. So I don't know which one is which. It's hard telling them apart. They're both ugly, so pretty stupid sounding. And, so it's kind of really hard. Anyway, but they all do the same thing. See, it's all hypocritical. I want you to do this, but it doesn't apply to me. I don't have to do it. You just go do it. And that's what they're trying to do with Trump. It's not going to work with Trump. Honestly, I'm starting to think more and more because I started a Democrat. I just kept pushing further and further away. And so the transition happened like this, right? I used to be a big union guy. Then the Democrats came out with this late-term abortion. And that doesn't mean in the third trimester, honestly. It means all the way up to the point of birth, a live birth, 30 minutes after birth. So what you'll get is Democrats say, no, that's not true, and that's not what the law says. But the person who wrote the law and the doctor who helped him both gave testimony that that's exactly what that means. They even described taking the baby into another room and making him comfortable, and then letting the mother decide whether or not to terminate that life. So that pushed me a little right. And then Beto, Francis O'Rourke, the fake Mexican, gets up on the debate stage and says, hell yes, we're going to take your AR-15s. And all those Democrats on that debate stage agreed with him. And I'm very pro-Second Amendment. And that pushed me a little further right. And then they came out with before actually the debates, AOC and Bernie are pushing the Green New Deal, destroying energy, things like oil and coal. And I have family members who depend on the oil fields for their living. And I know wind energy, solar energy is not dependable. Look at California, prime example, rolling blackouts every year. Every year. So imagine 102 degrees, your AC doesn't work because your electricity's out. You can't even put on a fan. Is that how you want to live? So I went a little further right. Then they started talking about all these socialist programs. And we're going to give everybody a living wage. Well, I know what that does to taxes, because somebody has to work and pay taxes to support that. So I went a little further right. But at this point, I was still not a Trump supporter, if you know what I mean. I was going to vote for him at this point, or at that point in my life. But I wasn't like wearing a MAGA hat. I wasn't going to go around and order a Trump flag. Then they put it all together. Because understand, during all this, they're screaming Trump is racist. Well, they can't really prove he's racist. And then I heard, if you don't know who to vote for, me or Trump, you're not really black. And I stood up and I paid attention. My head came up. I paid attention. Then I heard Kamala Harris be called a black woman. She's black in skin tone, but she's not black. Black is a whole different experience in America. And then I saw him support Antifa. Antifa, is that it? Antifa? I keep wanting to call them Anti-FIFA. Soccer haters. And I saw Antifa and Black Lives Matter being pushed by the Democrats. I got a little closer to Trump. Then I saw them riot and burn cities down. Now I'm a Trump supporter. And it didn't even stop there. Now I see white women telling black men or women whether or not they're black or not. And I see black people falling for it. You're skin folk, not kin folk. You're an idiot. You can't tell me whether I'm black or not or what I identify as. Isn't that kind of the whole point of your whole stupid liberal movement? You can identify as anything you want. Isn't that why you Democrats support sexual transition changes for 5-year-olds? Isn't that why you liberals dress your kids up even though they're boys in dresses? You see, you warp the mind of your own kids, and you can warp the mind of some Americans, because some of these idiots are going to go out here and protest, like the cop who killed the guy who killed the 2 cops in Louisville last night. Now your life is ruined. You know that, right? It's over. You might get, or who shot him, they didn't die. You're going to get attempted murder charges. You're probably in prison for a very long time. It's the whole hypocritical thing. So now I'm saying, President Trump, don't concede. Don't concede. So I'm not going to live with these liberal loonies who have no idea what they're fighting about. Or for that matter. It's ridiculous. So I just wanted to put you out there. See, they want Trump to do something that they themselves would not do. So if you're not going to do it, you're not going to concede. Hillary Clinton, Pelosi, none of them want Biden to concede the election. That's why they're creating so much turmoil, see, with this mail-in voting. That's exactly why they're doing it. That's the only reason, to be honest. That way Biden has an out. Because, see, they have to maintain their power. All who gain power fear to lose it. Never forget that. And these people have been in power for decades. For decades. So, thank you for watching this episode of the Dan Dawson Show. To President Trump, do not concede. Unless it's just a clear and blatant landslide. Don't concede. So, thank you. Remember to like and subscribe. Do what you got to do.